What is up, everybody? You are watching slash listening to another episode of the McAllister Hours podcast. I wanted to do something a little special for you guys for the intro here, because not only are we not doing our regularly streamed live podcast, we missed out last week. We had two individuals come through, and they both bailed. Well, one forgot that was his birthday. I don't know how much Xanax he was taking to forget that, but another one just didn't show up, which left both myself. What the fuck are you barking at, dude? Really? Someone over there? Someone watching me right when I start? Oh, great. Oh, great. Now they're gonna start barking again. You were just talking to them. You were just hanging out with them, man. Oh my gosh. So there's on this other house, there's 3 dogs, and this person just leaves their fucking door open the whole day, and just the dogs just running in and out of the house. And do they have fly traps or something at the door? What? Is that a mosquito net? I don't know. But yeah. So like I said, Jesus. Now I'm getting impaled with these. What the fuck are these spinny things? Anyways, this is a weird part of town we live on. It's nice though. It's not super removed. From it has a suburban style to it. Has a suburban feel to it. I really like it. But not, I guess not suburban, not high class suburban, middle class, chill. We're all just kind of vibing. That's my vibe. Anyways, I'm all over the place at this point. This is so this is the intro to the podcast I just actually had with Rusker. He is a EDM artist. Excuse me. He's an EDM artist in Crosse, Wisconsin. Quite honestly, for a virtual podcast, it was probably one of the best ones we've done. Previously, I feel like when I've done virtual podcasts, I wasn't really into the guest, and B, just wasn't. The whole setup is weird. I really hate that virtual Zoom. I'm an uncomfortable person in general, but when it's a Zoom thing, it's even worse. I can't stand it. But this was actually, there's some awkward blurbs, but I think overall it was honestly a really interesting interview. Like I mentioned, I met this guy through Sad Boy Samurai, aka Jordy Flash, and that whole thing, all those guys, and I don't really fuck with EDM a ton, but I did experience it at the, what was it, Lefties. I was at Lefties a couple weeks ago, and not this guy and not Sad Boy, but there were some other guys doing EDM, and I get it, man. I understand. There was a point where I was three beers deep, and I was just kind of mellowing, laying back in the middle. That kind of thing. But anyways, so I guess without further ado, here's the fucking episode. I might as well shut the fuck up. I went way over dramatic on this intro. I'm honestly regretting the 2 minutes I spent setting it up. All right, everybody. Here's the episode. Enjoy. Hello, everybody. You're watching / listening to the McAllister Hours. I'm your host, Cole McAllister. Today, we're joined by a EDM artist out in Wisconsin. We are cheating a little bit, going outside the Iowa area, but we were just talking before this. He knows quite a few of the guys here in Iowa, so I don't really see any problems. Everybody, Rusker.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me on this. I really appreciate it. This is officially my first podcast. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, this is fun, man. Like I was saying, the virtual is kind of all weird, and obviously there's a lot of distance between us, but yeah, it's gonna be a good time, man. Good vibes here in the McAllister Hours podcast, virtually or in person.
Maybe.
So let me ask you first, a little bit of your background. How did where are you from? How did the name Rusker come into play? What's all going on with that?
Yeah, so originally I'm from Scranton, Pennsylvania. If you watch you know where that is.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm from Scranton, kind of moved into the Midwest through my dad and his job, and he works at Fastenal, which kind of landed us in La Crosse, close to Winona's, where their headquarters is. So I grew up here for the majority of my life, and I actually started playing the drums when I was like 6 years old, and really started kind of pursuing it. And I would always go out to I'd have to go out and drum in with like bands that had 40, 50-year-old guys playing stuff, because I was drumming above a level of the kids that were my age, so it was hard to form a band. So I was just constantly playing with older people throughout my life, and I kind of got with when you're in a band, you got to depend on at least two other people to hold their part together, right, and sound good, because that's a unit at that part. And I'm like, when I went to my first EDM show, I went and saw Zed's Dead, and I was like, kind of had that epiphany. I'm like, wait, they're doing everything, and just short of the lights, all right. So that's kind of where I decided to kind of turn gears. And I was always a heavy metal drummer. I listened to a lot of Slipknot, a lot of Metallica, a lot of Killswitch Engage, a lot of just heavy shit, and kind of found that same energy in dubstep. So yeah, from about when I was about 16 when I hit my first show. I went there. Yep. And I got in, and that was kind of where the whole life took a little U-turn there. And I was like, I'm doing this music shit, So the Rusker name came actually. So I was a group, me and my buddy, his name's Braden. He goes by Fossils. Super, super talented artist. You should check him out.
I think I saw you guys doing a song together a week
ago. Yeah,
we
got a couple nasty collabs in the works right now. We're really excited about. But him and I were actually grouped together, and we went by Vandal. And this is when I first got my start. So I was probably 17, DJing these parties with Braden. And we're DJing all these college parties while we're in high school, and these kids thought we were in college too, so it was fucking hilarious. But they're like, "How old are you? 20? What grade are you?" I'm like 17, So
you're 21. You're 21.
Yeah. Yeah. So we did that for a while, and then we kind of found out that there was another hardstyle DJ overseas named Vandal, and we're like, okay, obviously the credibility that this guy has, so we just kind of broke off that and went into our own kind of individual paths. And I kept the name Vandal. We split before that, just because he wanted to go kind of a little more trappier and do a little more different stuff, and we were totally fine with it. But basically ended up changing my name to Rusker, because I ended up being pretty decent at high school football, and I was going to go play in college. And to my dad, I definitely could see that kind of single tier when I was like, yeah, I don't want to go play football. I want to make music. You know what I mean? When I told him that, and I was like, everyone always called me Rusker already. And I was looking for a new name. And this is kind of when I decided to really shift it and be like, I'm going to do this shit. So I switched it to Rusker, to kind of keep the name going in a different way too. And it's cool though, because it's not, it doesn't not mean anything to me, so I can actually get behind it fully and wholeheartedly, and it feels good. So that's kind of where that came from. I changed the name there because it was already my nickname, and B, I'll keep that legacy going.
So is that nickname is that a playoff on your name, or where did that nickname originate from?
So in football, they write your last name right on your forehead
Oh,
for the
okay,
first
okay,
couple weeks. I was either Rusk or Rusker, and that was his
okay.
nickname too. And that it's just kind of everyone called me that, and I'm like, why am I sitting here trying to think of like this weird, cool, different name that like I don't even know if I like when I can just use this. And yes, I know it's close to Rusco, and I'm not trying to be like the goat. We'll never be the goat. I'm just openly saying this right now because I have had people be like, "Did you name yourself after Rusco?" I'm like, "No, I did not. I did not. It's my last name." But yeah, no, that's kind of how that name came to fruition there, and been riding it out. Been I've been loving it.
Damn. So, how long you've been doing this then?
So I've been DJing, and I started toying around with producing maybe when I was around like 16 or 17,
Yep.
right after the show, kind of. And because everything I was doing was live before that. Like I have a drum set in my basement. I'd go play out at bars and sit in with bands and stuff like that. But um, I was just kind of like, I had been used to doing that whole stuff, and I'm like, I didn't want to have to depend on other people to kind of make what I wanted to make. And that might sound a little selfish, but that's kind of just that creative part of me that's like, I kind of want to take this, and do what I want with it. And that's the fun, challenging part about it is you never know where you're going, but you're like, let's give it a whirl,
Yeah. No, I appreciate that sentiment. I do, and I think I was mentioning this before. I do a lot of hip hop. And I think EDM and hip hop the things that are similar about those two genres is it's very individually based. Like I feel what you're saying about like trying to get people together in a band to try to like all have a singular thing. Like, even on individual EDM, having to work with other people, that can be difficult. So, it's just where technology's, taking us. It's
Yeah,
more individually based.
I agree, man. You know, it's really, you don't really know how hard it is to sound cohesively good as a unit until you try. And then you're like, damn, this is hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even to add to that, like collaborations too is, another even part of that to where that's where I like, it's that individualistic side to where like you're creating your own music, but it's also, there's so many networking possibilities. You just meet so many cool people through, you two deciding that you want to do something together and just kind of seeing what happens. And that's kind of what I love about like the EDM scene, and especially crossover with like the hip hop scene too, is it's like, there's just such a massive market for like that type of music and that's kind of like what I do when I grew up around here, aside from like now I can play like really heavy shit at the shows because people kind of like know what to expect when they're coming outside any of the shows that are mine. And but when I was kind of like struggling with getting people to kind of like me as a DJ, it's hard when people don't really, because I was on the dubstep wave. I wouldn't say first dubstep wave, but before people that were, in my friend group and stuff, like not a lot of people were really liking it. So I was like in love with it. And then other people are like, what the hell is this shit? You know what I mean? So I kind of had to cater the style to, like a lot of my sets, I'll play like 7-Eleven by Beyonce to like get all the like, girls and guys moving on the dance floor. Cause you can't say you don't know that shit and everyone's going to move. And then if you build that up and drop it into something, taking people like this versus this the whole time, and I kind of had to figure that out slowly but surely when I was like going real hard for 20 minutes. And then I look up and there's no one there. I'm like, probably got to cater to the crowd. But luckily I even play a lot of weddings and I play like benefits and shit. So I'm used to having to cater to the crowd. I just now I play them more than I did, but that was before when I was a little young boy out there.
Damn. So I know you were mentioning that you have a job and I've seen that you're in school. But like, you mentioned doing weddings and stuff. Have you actually been able to like have a decently steady income from doing this?
So basically, I would say the most steady income, it actually ironically is picking up more as COVID's kind of letting off.
Makes sense.
Because I think it gave kind of like where I kind of look at myself and where I am as an artist, like there's so many other people that are right at this level, like that are just like almost like a couple tracks maybe away from like getting like a pretty good hot streak and then like, and there's just so many people like that. And I think this past year really kind of gave me like, and everyone, which is the awesome and scary part, because everyone had a whole year to fucking, get their shit together and really think about what they want to do. But that's where I kind of like refocused on what I want, like the Rusker shows to be like an experience more than like someone just playing music. Like the last show I played, the whole back half of it was original music. And now that I'm getting to that 50% mark of all original, it's like, it's definitely shifting from like, someone just playing someone else's music to like, that's a unique set that you're only going to get from that person. And that's kind of what I think this last year really like allowed me to do. So that is showing as to where now I'm, getting booked. Like I'm playing at the Exchange in Minneapolis on Thursday. And then we're playing for OG Nixon up in Fargo on June 6th or 5th. Yeah. So it's going to be great. It's going to be ramping up, and we got a bunch of stuff that's in the works too. It's just, it's kind of hard. You're playing it by ear with this stuff, but I'd say now it's definitely ramping up. We throw our shows too. Before COVID, we throw Bass Bash and lacrosse. So that's me and 210. We're the Polite Boys together, and we started throwing these shows in lacrosse, and those have been coming. Those are some income here and there, but it's basically how I'll describe it is it's like a full-time job without getting paid. That's I'll quote that. Well, I am being a musical, having a music career is until you make it, it's a full-time job without getting paid. So, it's money here and there, but it's nothing to live off. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Starving artist. Yeah. I totally get that.
But hungrier than, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I think it's a Steve Jobs quote. Stay hungry and stay imaginative or something like that. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
It's important.
Whatever keeps the mind above, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, you mentioned you live in La Crosse. How is you mentioned traveling other places. How is the scene in La Crosse compared to like, I guess performing other places like Minneapolis or Fargo or
La Crosse is a very interesting little. It is. So 3rd Street has the most, and this might have changed. There might have been another town that leveled up, but as far as I know, on 3rd Street, that's like the most bars per street in the U. Like in one street in the U.S. There's like 15 bars on this like one street. It's fucked up, and what I'm getting at is they like to go hard here. Like when you can walk downtown on a Thursday night with $5 and get a wristband for unlimited drinks. Come on, like,
holy shit.
Yeah, it's a problem. It's not. It creates a problem. It's a problem. No, but there's 3 colleges here, and pretty much all the campuses. So you got Western Tech, you got UWL, and you got Viterbo. And all of the campus, like where these kids live, if they're not in the dorms, is just mushed together. Like they all live around each other. So there's just so many college kids here. And then you add on that downtown scene. It's like this place gets absolutely nutty. Like it has insane potential. And I'd love to be like, I'm not just saying that because I'm from here. I am from here and I've been rooting for this town, but they've been like, it's, increasingly as we've been throwing these shows, we're getting more and more people out there. More people are there just really wasn't anything for the EDM scene out here. There's one bar downtown that kind of does EDM stuff, but it's more so like top 40 remixes, like not really, bringing in artists that kind of know what they're doing. So it's a growing but extremely potential town in terms of that. I just think there needs to be one event that people are like, damn, it's gonna be crazy. We got some stuff that we're working on for the summer with Polite Boys and some other companies. So it's a very interesting town. It gets me really excited to talk about because I've seen we got Oktoberfest here too, and our population goes from 50,000 to 500,000 in a weekend. So it's the biggest Oktoberfest celebration in the U.S. It's crazy.
I didn't know that. Holy shit.
Yeah, it sounds nuts when it comes to celebrating anything and everything. They're celebrating.
Damn. That's crazy. I wanted to talk to you about Wisconsin because I actually used to go to a camp in Wisconsin, a summer camp. Okay. Camp Highland for Boys. You ever heard of it?
Where is it?
It's in Sainer, Wisconsin. Kind of by Minocqua.
Okay, yeah, I know where that is. I don't think I've heard of that though.
Yeah, I don't even know if they're still operating anymore with COVID, but I have a lot of really, great memories of Wisconsin and the nature and the woods. Um,
Gorgeous.
do you guys have you done a lot of outdoor festivals in Wisconsin or?
So that's with like the whole. I will talk for lacrosse. For Wisconsin, we had Somerset going, which was great and kind of sucked because it was like it's like you're going through border patrol to get in there, like 13 dogs walking down lines. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. But like they had that going on, and I know they're trying to throw not Somerset, but like they're trying to throw more stuff out there, and that gets used quite a bit, that concert venue. And there's multiple other, but as far as like lacrosse, that's kind of like what we're in the talks of trying to plan. And because like I said, there's just like an untapped market here of kids that don't know what the EDM scene really is, because it doesn't really exist here except for if you've been to one of our shows, but there's way more kids in lacrosse that have not gone to the shows than have been to the shows. So the only struggle with that though is because we were throwing them on the north side, and everybody is downtown when everything's happened. Like, when it comes to 10 o'clock, everyone's downtown. So everyone we're still pulling 300 people, but we got to pull all those people from downtown to come to that show. So that's an ongoing challenge to where we're trying to get it at Riverside Park, which is right downtown. And they just put a fully remodeled, beautiful outdoor stage there. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah, if we're talking to the city right now. If we can swing this, I'll definitely let you know, and I'll let everyone know, because this is we're not doing something small.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. So fingers crossed.
yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I have a lot of really fond memories of Wisconsin. Really gorgeous, beautiful area.
Yeah, and especially in lacrosse too, because we have the bluffs. We lucked out. We're right on the river, so we got beautiful bluffs on each side. You can see the Minnesota side where the bluffs go up, and it's kind of, we're lucked out because if you go over the bluffs, and some places it's valley through, but sometimes you go up and over and it's just flat for a long ways out. So we kind of lucked out in this area. This is absolutely gorgeous. We got the river, the bluffs, beaches in the summer. Like, summer is a whole different story here too. So yeah, no, you got to make another trip up here. You got to come.
Yeah. I know. Usually it's time and money is the reason I never make it up there, but
that's what it is. Yep.
I've always wanted to. Not in Wisconsin, but kind of similar vibe. I did Boundary Waters around that same time.
You ever look at the Apostles, or the Apostle Islands? It's literally way up on the mitten. Look, or how Wisconsin's got that kind of peninsula. It's like way up there though. But if you ever look it up, that might be a dope trip for you to go do, because I've heard it's like one of the most gorgeous. I've looked at pictures too. There's like hollowed out rocks you can like canoe through. It's crazy. It's right on the Great Lakes too. So keep that one in mind if you're looking for a good Wisconsin trip.
Hell yeah, I definitely will. Have you ever like kayaked or canoed in Wisconsin, like the lakes?
I do. So I don't do like the Great Lakes just because that's like so far for me to go. But a lot on the river. I do a lot of physical activity. I'd stay pretty active, even though I'm sitting down making music a lot. I can never sit still. My legs always moving. Like, I went for a hike, the first hike that I went on this year, because it was nice finally, and did like 5 miles after nothing, not doing anything like that all winter. Pulled a muscle in my back. I'm like, great, that's nice. But now that it's getting nice out, the physical activity is definitely picking up. So kayaking is going to happen. We do a lot of paddle boarding. I want to go buy a bunch of dodgeballs and do some beach dodgeball.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I like to try to stay active. And that's with like the Polite Boys stuff too. We're going to try to find ways to incorporate that to where we can do like a beach setup at Pettibone, to where they get like 500 people a day. Nice. And we just go down the beach, promote beach volleyball, dodgeball, we like to, that's one thing I'm trying to like push with our stuff, is like, we all know in the EDM community, everyone goes hard, like your body goes through a lot, but also trying to be like, take care of that shit. Cause don't abuse yourself just cause you're trying to have fun all the time. Like, it's important you're going to perform as well as this thing's working.
Yeah.
You're not gonna do too well, so yeah, physical activity is gonna be picking up heavy here.
That's awesome though, man. And that's what COVID's kind of messed that up a little bit the last recent years.
That whole thing.
There is like an energy with like, I actually have not been to that many EDM shows personally. I'm more of a hip hop guy, but there is like energized, like you see people just like dancing and immersed in
Yep.
it, and it's a very active deal for sure.
Yeah, no, that's what I love about it, is because I said I was like, I was a drummer for, I did a lot of metal drumming. I'm sitting there drumming until literally I have blood blisters on my hand. Like I'm going hard. I'm like 12, I needed that have that same energy. And if you go to like, I know this is very mainstream, but if you go to like an Excision show, it's got that just gritty, like in punching energy. And it was just that same shit kind of directed in a new genre. And I was like, man, yeah, that's the energy I like. And that's the energy I like to have on stage. If you ever watch me, I do not stand still. I'm always doing something, very fast paced sets, like always transitioning or, got something going on. I don't like to do the stereotypical, I should say, press button and play per se. If you watch during my sets, I'm doing something a lot of the time, and I try to keep it that way.
So that actually brings me to a good point. Like I said, how we know each other is through Sad Boy Samurai. And we had him in the podcast, and I always kind of like to ask EDM people this. What do you say to people who criticize EDM DJs and, say like what you just said, like, you just press play and you just kind of sit there. Like what do you say to someone who maybe, looks down on EDM DJ people for, making those assumptions?
Yeah, I definitely go from the point of like the viewpoint of like, you know what you know and you don't know what you don't know type shit. So like, at that point, if someone says that, I'm like, well, have you been to a show? And 95% of the time it's no, and it's okay. Well, it's kind of like it's speaking on a topic that you don't really know anything about, because I can tell you that I'm not the only one that's not just hitting play and doing stuff. Like everyone is going. I mean, and especially in my friend group too. Like the group of guys that we got, as I'll name off a couple. We got like 210, absolutely insane on the decks. We got 2 Crispy, which is my boy Trey out of Minneapolis, Linus out of Minneapolis, like Braden Fossils, and my boy Ramble. It's just like our whole group is like, when you just see how nasty people are on it, it's just like, that's where it brings me to like, have you ever been to a show? Have you ever watched it happen? And and they could have, and if they don't, I won't sit there and try to change their mind on it, because I'm not one of those people that tries to force it on people. I definitely, I know some people just don't. That's like, some people just don't like it. That's totally fine. There's a lot of people in the world, man. So, like, I'm not. It's not gonna give me any. I'm not gonna be like, okay, I changed their mind. Thank God. I'll be like, it's to each their own, and come to a show, come check it out one time.
It's like pot. It's like people who criticize pot. It's like, have you ever tried it? Have you ever smoked a joint?
No,
I think you need to smoke. I think you need to chill out a little bit.
You need it the most right now. That's the whole beautiful thing I see about it, is I'm like, you know what you know, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you're gonna have that epiphany one day where it might switch for you, and you're like, oh fuck. It's kind of this,
I have 2 stereotypical questions to ask about Wisconsin.
What's up?
Is everybody a Packers fan, and is the cheese as good as they say it is?
Okay, I'll start with the second one. The cheese is absolutely phenomenal. It's alarmingly good. And the Packers fans, a majority, yes. Me, no. Go Bears, bear down, Chicago. They're each year by year, they're making it harder to be a Bears fan, but I'm still sticking with them. My dad's whole family's from Rockford, Illinois. So
okay.
Yeah, right around the corner there. And it's yeah, kind of got me when I moved here. That was the funniest shit, when I would go to school and everyone's wearing a Packer jersey and I got a jersey. I will tell you, Packer fans are some like, I don't know, I'd put them next to like maybe Eagles fans for hecklers. Like, they're fucking, I mean, they'll do it so passively aggressive, like passive as shit. They're like, oh yeah, like, and you're like, oh, we lost 6 games in a row. All right, come on, just we're playing our 4th string quarterback. All right, man. But when I heard about Aaron Rodgers leaving, wanting to at least,
Is there a rivalry there with the? I don't watch a lot of football. Is there a rivalry with the Bears and Packers?
Oh God, yeah, it's one of the oldest rivalries in NFL history. That was where actually some of the first teams that were in the NFL like ever. So it's been, those teams have played each other the longest in NFL history. Damn. So there's quite a fucking rivalry there, and it's awesome too. Like, it's so fun to go to the games or just watch them. Even you can feel the intensity, that energy, you know.
So my dad's a Cubs fan. So Cubs are in the family. It's interesting. My girlfriend I'm dating right now, she's actually, her family's all Cardinals, all St. Louis Cardinals fans.
There you
go. So that's gonna be awkward conversation at some point when the parents meet.
You know, they're just gonna give each other that look and be like, "So, Cubs fan, eh?" That's where the passive aggressiveness comes in, right?
Yeah.
So it's that I love sports. Everyone just gets so into it, and it's just fucking, it's fun, man.
Yeah. I was always a cross country guy growing up when I was in high school and all that. Yeah. So I was never really into the sports.
I respect the shit out of those cross country guys because they would always be running when we were in football, and we would be like doing drills, and I'd be gassed after the first drill, and then we do 10 like that, and they're just still running. I'm like, you guys are animals. Like, what do you? I need medical attention.
Cross country is a very mental sport.
I was gonna say,
there's actually like a lot of strategy that goes into, like, you know, like drafting off people. I had this one race where I was like, because I was pretty good. I was a 4-time state qualifier, actually.
Oh, hell yeah, man! That's awesome.
Pretty fucking good. I don't like to brag, but
no, you're up for there. You're like, oh, you think you can run longer than me? Try.
Well, shit, man, I'll tell you, I've lost it in like the 6 years since I've been in high school. I've gained weight, and I can't remember the shit.
that was like in football. I was second in the state yards per carry my senior year. I had 15.8 yards per carry. So every time I touched the ball, it was a 1st down and a half, which did not help the case of not going to play.
Yeah, I had one race though. I remember where I was talking about drafting, and like a thing, and that is like you try to make sure that you sit behind someone to, like, save yourself energy.
I know that. Yeah, they draft like a motherfucker in NASCAR, so I know what that is. Yeah.
And I had one race where I was like in the top 5, and I was behind this kid that was like half of my size. He looked like a toddler. He was so short. And like I was going insane because I was like, I cannot draft behind this kid. He's literally like, oh my God. And I think he ended up drafting behind me for a little bit. And he's like, I was like, you midget motherfucker, able to draft off me? That's not fair.
You just start drafting off him. All right.
Just pick him up and throw him off to the corner. Hey, get the fuck out of here, man.
That's funny, dude. No, I didn't quite do cross country, but I did track, and I did what I considered distance in that. So I did the 800, and
that's distance.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it, but my coaches were like, "You're good at it." So I'm like, "Fuck me." So yeah, that was I tried to draft in that shit, and then I remember when I got this tall Native American kid from Toma, which is like 40 minutes out, and there's just like a lot of Native American people live there. And if you don't know anything about Native American people, they are athletic as fuck. Like, they can run like a motherfucker, dude. And this kid was like in 8th place, just saving all his energy, I guess. And I'm in 2nd. I'm like, I got this shit. Then I just hear thud, 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 and like, this kid's cooking. I'm like, no way. And he just and I ran so hard to it right after it, I threw up and I was physically sick. I was like white, and because I just tried to beat him, couldn't beat him. Kid creamed me. If If you're watching this, good job. No, I give it to people that do the distance shit, man. That's something to where you're the whole time you're going, motherfucker,
Well, yeah, and you're mentally thinking the whole time. Like I remember, like my coach, like every mile, my coach would be like screaming out the splits, like you're at this time, you're at that time. So like,
yep,
you're running, you're mentally thinking about conserving energy and your time, like
and you're timing yourself. And that's that. I need physical contact, or else I'm not gonna win. You're beating me in that. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, football, that was something I was terrible at. I did football in 7th grade, and I'll never forget this. There was a game we did, and they played back footage, and everybody on the line went up, and then one person on the line went up like 2 seconds later, and they're all like, "Who the fuck is that?" And it was me. I was so bad.
Phone call, felt my pocket vibrate. Sorry, thought I had a call there.
Which why they're reviewing footage in 7th grade is beyond me. I mean, who gives a shit?
Why are you taking this so seriously? All right.
I didn't go back. Damn. So I saw you recently. You recently visited Florida.
Yeah.
A couple months ago. I wanted to ask about that. I'm kind of curious because it's one of the few states that like is open right now. They've not to get political, but they've passed a lot legislatively that people either love or hate. I guess I'm just curious, like, what was the vibe in Florida like?
So with like the whole mask thing, when we drove straight to Panama City Beach, and we went to Walmart first, and that we had to put our mask on because the guy was like, "You guys got to wear a mask in Walmart." I'm like, "Okay,
yeah,
maybe the mask thing isn't so different down here." Well, then we went to the liquor store and we walked in with our masks on, and those guys just were like, and we're like, "Do we have to wear these?" And he's like, "You guys aren't from here, are you?" We're like, "No." I was like, "No, we're from Wisconsin and Minnesota," and he's just looked at us. He's like, "Welcome to freedom." I'm like, "What?" So yeah, other than like the big stores like Walmart, maybe that has like a corporate thing that's like, you wear the masks.
Yeah,
they're not fucking wearing them. It's pretty much a free for all down there. I'm just not even gonna sugarcoat it. And you know what? That's how they want to run it. They're gonna deal with it the way it's gonna happen. What's gonna happen is gonna happen the way they're going. So it's they have already done it for long enough to where it's. I mean, the damage that it's done, if there's a lot of damage,
doesn't really even seem like there is.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, obviously they think it's okay, and I didn't physically see people fucking hacking up lung. I didn't see sick people. Like, it was just kind of like, it kind of felt like pre-COVID, like, just, and I was like, all right, but definitely still on the beach. Like, there's plenty of room. So we weren't within 6 feet of anybody,
Yeah. True. So
we had a lot. No, go ahead.
So I guess how did you feel? Like, did you feel a sense of relief? Were you are you worried about COVID?
I was in between. I was like, this is cool. But then I was also like, man, it's really weird because it's just like so normal to have to wear a mask usually. And I mean, like, kind of where I stand on like the whole COVID thing is, I get people have died and are dying from it, but I also get that there are, got like the flu kills fucking way more people. And I understand it's a pandemic and it's a breakout, so it has to be treated differently, and the flu is to be expected every year, blah, blah, blah. But, it's scale-wise, I really don't see that it's as blown up and as, like, Black Plague-ish as it's, kind of projected to be. I think if you have a weak immune system and you're very susceptible, protect yourself. If you're like me and I'm not saying go be the guy that's transferring it everywhere. Be smart, but also, don't I don't think the mass majority of people should have to kind of follow the rules that the people that are seriously maybe like affected by it should, because that was with the whole lockdown and stuff. I mean, have we locked down as a nation ever before? Like, no. And like, I'm like kind of looking at really how dangerous it is. And I'm like, and we're almost like martial law in this motherfucker. Like,
Yeah.
I get how deadly it is to people that are susceptible. I totally understand that. But I don't think the mass majority should be penalized for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a conversation that needs to be had, right? And that's kind of the problem, is nobody's having the conversation. Like,
and people get too embedded in their side of it too, though. So it doesn't even turn into a conversation. It's more of an argument. Or just get more interested in their point, and then it just goes nowhere. You know what I mean? And it's like,
yeah, it's like, what are you really arguing for the sake of people's safety, or are you really arguing to, prove your point and to feel good about yourself, or, whatever?
That's why I feel like 50-50 on debates. I'm like, I don't really think you're gonna sway someone. I think they think something, and if you say something they don't like, they're gonna be like, "Fuck you," like, they're not gonna sit there and be like, I don't know. That's just kind of how I get it, though.
No, I mean, shit, you're talking like a podcaster, man. Like, there are some people that come in, they have certain opinions on things, and like, I just know that engaging in a conversation with them about it just would do absolutely nothing. It wouldn't be good content.
No. That's why I'm a very easy person to talk to about shit, and I know I'm a talker, so like, I've kind of harnessed that and tried to take it in the right direction of like being able to talk about things versus like being a talker and then just over speaking and not hearing people out. And like, 'cause I know a lot of people that do that shit, and it's just, no one likes to talk to someone that's just fucking so invested and is going to tell you everything they think about it and then not give a fuck. Like,
yeah. Well, and it's, with the mask thing, and it's about respect. Honestly, like if you're around people that want you to wear a mask, I don't have a problem with that. If I go to a business,
everywhere I go, and I'm like, if people, even where I work too, I keep one on me, and if they got a mask on, I'm like, do you want me to throw a mask on? I let them know. I'm like, I'm okay if you don't wear one, but if you want me to, and that's kind of how I play that, because if you're cool, I'm cool.
Yeah, and and that should be fine in my opinion. Like, to each his own.
Right, exactly.
There was I don't remember who was just on. I think Kalima. He was talking about how he's in a store in LA, just started, barking at him in the store, like, not wearing masks. It's like, you are making a decision to be in the store and take the risk of being in the store. There are plenty of accommodations that these stores can make to, if you are scared of going to the store. So
Karen's out here, dude. I don't know what the fuck to do. It's great.
Karens.
I know, dude. It's fucking nuts. I just don't understand the sense of entitlement. I really don't. Like, why?
America, baby.
Why are you so important? Like, why? Just go. You're fine. I don't know. I just don't do well with. I almost like consider that like you're just stupid at that point. Like, it's just like, if you're gonna go yell at someone for some shit, like, how bad is your day? Like, seriously, about a fucking mask. Like, say your piece and then just leave. Like, But hey, everyone's different. That's what keeps the world interesting. And the internet.
Exactly.
So,
if everyone was the same, this would be a really boring place.
Super boring. That's, why could everyone be like me? Well, then it would fucking suck. Like, and we would probably get nowhere. Honestly. There's some pretty incredible people out there, and they're not like me, and I love it.
Damn. So one of the last things I wanted to ask about, you're a self-proponent dab head, and I've actually recently made the switch. I mean, not 100%, but I've kind of made the switch from marijuana to dabs. I kind of want to just ask, like, do you? I'm assuming you prefer dabs over pot. Like, what is it for you why you like that better?
It's basically, so I used to only, like, when I first started smoking, I think everyone mostly just starts smoking pot. You know what I mean? And like, I would buy, how I would classify myself is I'm like a very productive stoner. So like I smoke pot as if someone would smoke a vape or a cigarette. I still smoke my vape, but like it's my it's my work. It just keeps me going.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I was just spending a lot on fucking physical flower, and I'm like, I'm just tearing through it at a rate that I might as well get. It's $70 ish, or was, for a quad of like marijuana, and I'm like, well, I can pay $40 for a gram of dabs, and this is gonna last me a week, and it's $40, and it's higher concentrated, so I don't have. It's not as much smoke ingestion. You're not sitting there puffing. It's just one done, and the same amount of effect. And I kind of like saw that, and I'm like, fuck it. So for cost wise, I definitely went over to dabs, and overall for just kind of like, obviously it's not nationally legal everywhere, so like it's a lot easier to be sneaky with dabs versus the loud potent smell of marijuana, regardless of the way you're smoking it. If it's a blunt, a joint, a hitter, it doesn't matter. That shit's gonna stink like a motherfucker, and I can rip a dab and no one knows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's kind of where I love it. Is it's very, very easy, especially for how much I travel and play. I just take like a dab pen with me, or I'll get my little, my silicone nectar collector, my little handheld and total package. It's like this big in backpack, and then and I'm good. And I think it's a lot easier to honestly be smart about smoking if you're smoking dabs, because until pot's just legal everywhere, it's too loud. Like it's way too loud.
Yeah. Like if you're at a bar or something, there's a difference between like, smoking a joint outside and just hitting a pen really quick.
Definitely, man. And like so many people are smoking like wax pens and just like carts and shit. And that's where you got to be careful, because there's so many fake carts out there, to where like if you're going to do anything that's a cartridge, definitely make sure there's probably like a QR code that you can scan. Try to make sure that you're doing your DD as a smoker, and smoke responsibly. But with wax, it's a little, you don't have to be as worried. There's like CRC. Yeah. I'm sure there's enough people down in Iowa that have good wax.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got my hookups, man. I got my hookups.
Yeah.
No, the carts. I always stay away from the carts. I've told this story in the podcast before, but back when I was living in South Dakota, I had one of my relatives. Not relatives. He was a friend of the relatives, I will say, and he was actually one of the biggest dealers in the state, and he sold a lot. He sold a lot of carts. And after, so I went through a divorce, separation, moved back to Iowa. After I did that, the same exact person that he was getting it from California actually got arrested because they were putting I don't remember what the chemical is called, but it's in mints, and in very, very, very small doses, it's okay. But it was right around the epidemic with like the people dying from vaping and all that. And so I actually, like, through others, I've known people who have gotten arrested for that shit, putting that stuff in carts. So I don't fuck with it. I just do the concentrate. I just put it in the little coil pen and heat it up and good to go.
And that's the way to do it, honestly. And the freshest way to do it, you can do this if you got a little extra money, you could order one. This is pretty fun. You can get a little press, and you can actually take physical like flour and just put it, it's like parchment paper, you put it in between, and then it heats it up and presses it melts all the crystals, the THC crystals, pushes it to the outside. So pretty much you got a flat THC-less flour, and then you have all of the concentrate right around it. You can just dab. That's the freshest way to do it, without no shit, no chemicals, no butane, fucking So that you can even do it with a fucking with a flat iron.
I have seen that, but I've never thought of doing that though.
Yeah, it's kind of fun actually to watch it like melt and then come off to the side, and it's got beautiful color to it. It's kind of like that nice light gold, and you just look super fucking clean, and it looks like something you'd want to dab, And that's kind of like, I kind of consider myself a dab connoisseur in the terms of like, if if I'm looking for dabs, I'm not just buying any dabs. Like I'm going to like multiple people, like figuring out like what is available, what's the best, because I like to headhunt for the top shelf shit. Again, for cost, because I'm not going to buy something that's got half the THC content of something else that'll last me twice as long. So
what's I know it's illegal in Wisconsin, but like what's is there any legislative forward motion with legalization of marijuana or anything like that?
So actually in La Crosse, you can get caught with up to 28 grams on you, and it's literally like $100 ticket. Like
so it's decriminalized? So
pot's pretty okay. It's just with dabs is actually still considered a felony.
Yep.
Sure, it's a felony throughout the whole United States, aside from like Oregon and fucking maybe, it's probably still a felony, but they're still fucking selling it. I don't know how that even sits, because I know
the states where it's legal, it's legal, and
it's legal. So just a felony everywhere else then.
Yeah.
So that's still a felony, which is where the whole, it's less of a ticket to get caught with weed, but smoking dabs gives you less of a percentage chance of getting caught.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you're fighting this weird in between thing, but just be smart, just drive the speed limit, don't get pulled over, don't be smoking obnoxiously. I have a very good social awareness, thank God. My parents instilled that in me. Like, don't be the loudest fucking table at the restaurant. You know what I mean? Like, if my group of friends gets too loud, I'm not like, yeah! I'm like, shut the fuck up! Y'all need to chill right now. But same thing goes with that. You just gotta be a ninja about it, and you'll be good. I haven't gotten in trouble, knock on wood. I'm fucking.
There you go.
So, but it's very easy to be smart about. You don't have to be a fucking wizard.
So do you think, because marijuana's been legalized in the last decade in a lot of places, so there's kind of been this hype of flower. Do you think that's going to transition to wax? Like, do you think we're going to over the next 20-30 years, where we're just going to see more and more people going to that?
Yeah, why wouldn't it? Because they're realizing how much money they can make on marijuana. Then you add dabs to that, that's just more money, and they're going to see that. And that's, if you go to Colorado and you go to the fucking Taco Bell that was I was at, it literally looks like all the shit they have is so nice. It's just paying for so much shit. And it's why wouldn't you do it everywhere else? And I'm going to tell you why Wisconsin's probably going to be one of the last states to do it, is because we have the Tavern League, which is so gung-ho on fucking alcohol, and where we make a lot of our money as a state. So as soon as that Tavern League starts seeing, if we legalize marijuana, how many people are going to start smoking and stop drinking? But drinking is their only outlet aside from cigarettes. But you're not going to smoke yourself drunk. That's not a thing. So yeah, their only legal outlet is to go drink. And that the Tavern League is probably going to be the reason why Wisconsin is going to be one of the later states to be like, all right, fuck it. Because then they're probably going to have a plan to figure out where the Tavern League can get involved or some shit like that, So it's kind of the way I'm thinking about it. Still treating it like it's legal. I don't give a fuck. But, but I know the state we live in is heavily driven off alcohol sales. So it's kind of doesn't make sense for this state to do it soon. They're going to hold on to it for as long as they can.
Iowa is a very similar story. I remember one of the things that was I thought so crazy about the lockdowns during the summer was our governor, Kim Reynolds. For a point in time, it was legal to buy an open container of alcohol from a bar, drive home with that open container. But they still won't let pot be legalized. There was a point in time where you could actually drink and drive
with an open container.
Yeah, if you got pulled over, I guess I don't know about that, but I would assume you get pulled over, you're like, yeah, I just came from this bar and Kim Reynolds made it legalized, so all right, have a good day.
Here's what's that kind of brings it to is it's just getting so ridiculous to where I think the mass majority of people are going just fucking legalize it.
Yeah, we're sick of it. We're over.
You guys are literally trying so hard not to, that just how much effort are you putting into this?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many other fucking things that we can focus on, and you guys are sitting there trying to be like, no, like, why? You want $1 billion as a state in like 6 months? Fucking there. Jesus.
Yeah, he would make enough money to bail out all the people that didn't make enough
Literally,
alcohol.
they'd be fine.
I think it's up to 70% is like the the US, like how many people want it legalized. 70%.
Yeah, that's and growing.
And growing. Exactly.
But hopefully we can be growing in our backyard someday.
It's really stupid, but like I have this like little jar of like all these seeds I get from pot. I mean, who knows if they would actually grow, but like it's just kind of a stupid little thing for me. I always kind of think like, oh, this is a felony.
Yeah. This little fucking
like 20 seed.
The fucked up part is people sitting in jail for 20 years for it.
Yeah.
Like flour. Like where you money hungry, stupid motherfuckers. Like that's all I gotta say. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If they really want to, not to get political, but if they really want to, make a move that really help people, it would be to, all the people that are sitting in for those sentences, just cut them off.
Yeah, let them go.
Get them out of there.
What are you doing? What are they gonna do? Go eat a box of Cheez-Its? Fucking A.
They're not gonna be violent criminals smoking a joint,
No, and don't get me wrong, there are people that like when you're moving like crazy amounts of weight, yeah, there are very dangerous fucking people out there, but like that's with anything.
Yeah.
Security.
Well, and that's a problem from it being illegal. That's not, if it was legal, that problem wouldn't be there.
It would have legal security. It would literally be like those fucking money things that go to like Walgreens and be like those armored vehicles with a shit ton of pot in them, just cruising down the road.
Yeah, well, I think that's what they do in Cali, right? Like those states. I think they actually have that kind
of
stuff.
I don't know. Do they?
I don't know. It could be talking out my ass, but I feel like they do that.
I think that's a pretty educated guess. It kind of makes sense. I feel like they're doing that.
Yeah, it just takes one fucker to be like, hey, I can just rob this whole car of like, 20 tons of weed.
Dude, I literally just watched a video on Facebook and the random ass string of videos that you get sucked into.
Yeah.
And one of them was this armored vehicle and attempted robbery on it. They're on the highway and these guys were just lighting this fucking thing up with like automatic weapons and shit. It was just these two guys in there. I'm like, damn, it was hitting the window too. Bulletproof glass. Thank God.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, dude. But I'm like, fuck, I'm like, oh, it seems like a cool job. But like, what if you got fucking 4 SUVs around you trying to like get you off the road going 70? Like, then shit gets pretty real.
Yeah, that's why they pay you well, right?
Oh, the guy had like 3 F-16s in the fucking vehicle. I was like, oh, these guys are about to get the heat. Better back off.
Jesus fucking Christ. Crazy times, man. Crazy times.
And every day it's just getting, I mean, hopefully, I did kind of feel, I don't know if I'm the only one, but like a little energy change with the whole 2021 thing. Like shit's starting to, because 2020 was just fucking as far as you could, just the worst down drop. It's so much. I mean, I know personally, I went through so much fucking shit. Like one of our dogs ended up passing away. That was just random as fuck. Just started having seizures out of nowhere, and like had to put her down. And she was only like 2. It was terrible. And then my girlfriend's mom ended up passing away, and like unexpectedly. And it was just like on top of everything that was already happening, and it was just fucking crazy as to like how much shit hit the fan all at once. Like it was just nuts. And I definitely have felt though, like, and maybe this is just me personally, because I'm in school, but I just got done for the summer. I'm not going to do summer classes so I can like focus on music a bit, because I was doing full-time school, full-time work, and I was still trying to do my music on top of that. So it was like that was a lot. And but like with this kind of whole, everything's getting a little back to normal, coming back. Yeah. I'm done with school for the summer. My girlfriend just got her certificate for being a hairstylist and shit, which ironically more training than police officers have. So it's fucking dying when I looked at that. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You can just tase someone and she's got to go to school for 4 times more time to just put a highlight in? What is this?
Oh, wait, you think it's a taser, right?
Oh my God. How is that even fucking? I can't even believe that one. That one's beside me. How did you even, were you a secretary? Like, what is that the first? Oops. What do you mean? Oh my God. Terrible situation, but what the fuck? Like, yeah, it's just getting so dumb to where everyone's going, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, shit, you hear about it all the time now. People aren't even reacting. Well, people are reacting, but like, it's not like surprising anymore.
It's happening at an alarming rate. Like,
yeah.
It's desensitizing us.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We're getting like, another one. It's like, motherfucker. But I can't personally stop it. I would love to, and I will put my best foot forward to like put the greatest vibe I can out there. But like, no individual person can go fucking change that, which sucks. Everyone just needs to get their shit together. Like, a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah. I always tell people this: if people spent the energy focusing on other people on themselves, the world would be a better place.
Holy shit. Amen, bro. For real. I can agree with you on that one. That is, just stop. Yeah. Why are you so concerned with other people? Just focus on yourself. That's it. Make yourself better. And through doing that, you'll make the world better. That's it.
Exactly.
Hey, luckily,
man. Yeah. Well, hey, man, that sounds like a great note to end this on. Did you have anything else you want to mention before we wrap up? Your info, your social, where can people find your music?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be slowly moving my shit to Spotify here. I have just had everything on SoundCloud, and everything is there. Everything currently, it's Rusker on SoundCloud. You should be able to find it. It's the first one. And then on Instagram, it's Rusker Official. You can also follow Polite Boys. That's to stay in touch with anything that we're doing in the La Crosse area. And we also play, me and 210 with the Polite Boys. So we play as a group in different cities as well. You can follow me on Twitter at Rusker Official. And if you want to add me on Snap, it's _Rusk. I post a lot of my promotions there too. Trying to think of if there's anything else. Facebook, just look up Rusker. You'll find me. And then, I got the upcoming shows I have. Make sure I get these dates right for y'all.
Yeah, you mentioned Minneapolis and Fargo, right?
Yep. So that's, we got the Exchange in Minneapolis. That's this Thursday, so on the 6th. And then I'll be in Fargo, North Dakota on June 5th for OG Nixon. And that's at the Aquarium. That's going to be fucking crazy. I've played there before. Actually opened direct support for Monks there, so that was nutty. And other than that, basically anyone that's watching this, thanks for the support thus far. Because we got some shit in the works, a lot of collabs coming out here. I got one with Fossils, I got one with Driggs, my boy out of LA, and I might actually be, I've been debating, but it's been leaning more towards yes than no. And I'm probably going to put an EP together here soon and release my first EP. Hopefully sometime before the half of the summer, I'll get it out there. So a lot of shit going to be coming out. Definitely go on my socials. You'll be able to find everything that I'm posting and say what's up.
Awesome. Hey, I'll definitely make sure to check out that EP when it comes out. And all that. Hey, man, it's been a great time.
Yeah, dude, this is a fun chat. This is a fun first podcast in the books. Thanks for letting me do this. This is fucking awesome.
Yeah, this is a fun time. Like I said, I'm sorry I can't be in person. Virtual kind of sucks, but I think it was a good one. So,
hey, no worries, man. We'll make another one happen down the road when we can make it happen in person.
Yeah, for sure, man. Hey, if you're ever in town or if I ever in Wisconsin, we'll hit each other up. All right.
Yeah, please do, man. Hell yeah.
All right. Hey, you have a good night, man. A good day. Good night.
Good talking to you, brother. Have a good one.
All right. Peace. Thank you for tuning into today's episode with Rusker, an EDM artist from Wisconsin. He had a lot of great insight on the area and other things in the community. So I really appreciate him coming on virtually. It was a good time. Stay tuned. Next week, we will be back live on YouTube with King Supreme. He's actually roommates with Obs. Maybe we'll have him hop on toward the end. We'll see. But because I think they're actually driving up together. Or driving down, up, whatever, man. It's all the same longitude, latitude, right? God, you know what? Whenever I like mumble over words, I always fuck it up. I always like you fuck up the punch of the joke that isn't that funny. Okay, anyways, motherfuckers, stay tuned. We will be back live next week. Look forward to it. All right, peace. Have a good one.